Absolutely. Thank you for staying with us and welcome back. Good morning. My good name is Van Sankwa. This is the last conversation of this segment and we're inviting you in our socials to let us know where you're watching us from. We'd love to read and see your feedback and we feel it. That's why we request you on the hashtag, which is Why in the Morning. Now, in this topic, we're delving into matters, men, and holding each other accountability. Literally, when everyone talks, nobody listens. In a noisy world full of expectations on what a man should be, it's easy to get sucked up into what society is expected of you, other than you living organically and fulfilling your purpose as a man. And also men need a guiding light, an authoritative force that should always get them back to their original self in terms of what they want to pursue in life, mistakes that they make. They need an authoritative force as well that can guide them to the right path. And the question is, what exactly can they do to be on the right path in terms of being accountable to each other? That's what we're delving into and much more. And I'll be speaking to Musita Godric. He's SG, or Secretary General at Motion Movers. He's based at Egerton University alongside Collins Abungu. He's, you can say, an incumbent or an aspirant MCA, Kitengela, and so much more. He'll tell us what he's all about as well. Karibuni sana, gentlemen. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Right. Let me begin off with Collins. You said you want to be a leader. You want to be an MCA. But like I've just said, you know, it's easy as a man to just, you know, find yourself getting lost into this world of, you know, responsibilities and, you know, what you should do as a leader, as a man. You should always get it right. So if you were to actually give a short and a brief explanation, what exactly should a man do so that they can live their very best life without these other demands and, you know, filters and the questions of, even the mwanaume anafaa kuwa. Yeah.
So to me, men have challenges in the society. So the number one solve of a problem is talking. Yeah, when you engage someone and you have a problem, you engage someone, they will actually share their problems, and that actually will solve a lot of things. Because even in the Bible, if you look at the Bible, God himself created man, and most of the things that are in the world, he was just saying, let there be. So it's a word. So by engaging people to solve your problems, it can actually help you solve the problem. Yeah, that's number one solver. Do you believe most men are not conversational in terms of, rather, let's say, socially open? Because we've seen people say, you know, I'm socially awkward, you know, I'm an introvert, I don't like talking, Do you believe maybe such, say, facets of people, especially when it comes to specifically men, make it difficult for them to have their issues addressed in terms of, for example, if you're going through something that it's hurting you, you know, they always say a man until it kills you. Ama pigana na hadi kuwe. Kufa kimwanaume. You know, we have such sentiments, So do you believe maybe such, say, facades make it hard for men to access or receive the help that they need whenever they're going through something? And that's why we're seeing the number of suicides are just, you know, skyrocketing. Yeah, that's true. So there are two types of people. They are introvert and extrovert. So when you are an introvert, you cannot express yourself well to people. And when you are an extrovert, you will talk and people will listen to you. So the problem comes now if you're a man and you are an introvert. You will die with your problems, actually, because you don't feel the urge of talking to people and tell them what is happening, what is really happening, so that they can help you solve the problem. There are three things to do. When you, as a man, is experiencing a problem, people have to listen to you, and then they should act on it. First of all, they should listen to you, your story. Then after listening to your story, the second thing is they will give you a feedback, and that feedback will help you. That's why we have mentors, people who are mentoring people,
Yeah, you go tell them what actually is happening. And so the way of solving a problem to these people who are introvert is a bit hard, because if you don't talk, no one will listen to you.
Yeah.
So as a man, we should just take initiative. Even if you're an introvert, you have a friend. Yeah, it's not that they don't have friends. And there are some people who are introvert, but they actually, if you are close to them, they will open up and they will talk.
Right.
Yeah. So if you find you have a friend, that friend can help you escalate over your issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a place where you mentioned, kufa kibwanaume, because it's interesting, because society keeps on encouraging that. And let me jump onto you, Godric. From your own experiences as well as a young, energetic, enthusiastic, I believe talented and gifted in many ways, are known to be, as a young man, when you look at, just part of the chunk of life you've gone through, and what you're pursuing even in life right now, do you believe, or rather, if you were to confess or just admit here, do you believe that there are so many obstacles for a man as compared to our counterpart on the other side? And for us men, we have so much on our plate in terms of shedding off some layers. You have to fight yourself and overcome yourself before now you become a fighter to win over life or the world, but still being yourself and fulfilling what you're expected to be and to do as a man. And I love that we can bring, you've mentioned mentors, you can mention mentors at a certain part, but yeah, I don't know if you'd admit or you'd agree or disagree. I'd like to hear your sentiments, yeah.
Okay, to begin with, challenges are there. They have existed, and this whole conversation should be characterized in the sense that we have the man who needs to be held accountable.
Right.
We have the man who needs to hold the other man accountable.
Nice.
And then we have the society as a whole. Now, if you characterize society in regards to holding men accountable, if you look at it historically, if you look at it religiously, men have been characterized as people who are generally stoic. And the narrative, the social narratives of kufa kimwanaume, wewe ni mwanaume, why should you cry, and all those manner of narratives.
Why are you complaining?
Why are you complaining? Like you get all those narratives, eh?
Maybe you can explain stoic for a Gen Z who is not grasping a man should be stoic. Yeah. What does it mean to be stoic as a man?
Being stoic basically ni kama roho ngumu tu. In
so
some
hardcore
generally, yeah.
Okay.
In some characterization of stoic.
Okay.
So the social characterization of a man is somebody who needs to be hardcore. You need to face challenges head on. And this characterization is now what makes the man to actually not be very open. That is why he is telling us that most men are ideally introverts to some extent. And therefore, the social characterization of men in the sense that they cannot share and they cannot do all these things, or you need to face your challenges head on, then it puts men in a position to contain themselves, or to contain their troubles, or to contain even their misdoings. There is something you might have done, and I would actually ideally enable you to change that thing, but the fact that you cannot share limits my ability to enable you to share. And then this characterization also now limits the ability of somebody to hold you accountable, because holding me accountable, then it's like you're making me feel less of a man, or making me feel like I am less responsible, or something of that extent. So nobody wants to put you in this awkward position, and therefore people are very reserved. And these are the general problems that we've had over time. But progressively they are being changed.
They are being unearthed.
Unearthed, yeah.
Right. But like you've rightly mentioned, as a man you are expected to always have it together. When you veer off the course of life and lose control and fall on your face, you're expected to lift yourself back up without screaming, shouting, complaining. Even when you're broke, you're sad. And I also believe emotions like pain, hunger, depression, if you add in now mental health issues, they're both first on equal, divides of life. Counterpart as well go through, ladies, same to men. But then when you bring in, now let's bring in a special figurative example. For example, a man who's been in the limelight all their life, they've been famous, or rather they come from a prominent family. And I don't know what usually happens with, famous people. Yeah, they end up into drugs. Even in religious families, you'd see PKs, they always struggle with something that's not, expected of them according to how, the facet of what the father or what the mother ran. Could be a ministry. Even politicians, you've seen politicians kiddos out here, yeah? So you're expected, if you're in the limelight, to always have it together, yeah? But then it just ends up these guys veer off the road and they get sucked into just, a dark world. So for such a man who would say, they don't have anyone to pick them back up, or if we've rightly said it, as a man, you're not supposed to speak up. Now we are socially, introverted. Yeah. So how do you seek help? Do you fight until you're 6 feet deep, or it's good luck? Good luck if you make it. Good luck if you don't.
Okay. Generally, in the society we live in today, there has been a lot of vulnerability acceptance. Basically, in the world we're living in today, the stoic nature of men is being fought to some extent. And we are so glad of the empowerment of women and the whole war about equality and all these things. And even in that war, it is beneficial to men to some extent, in the sense that men also feel that they can be vulnerable to some extent. And the vulnerability of men is coming out as we progress in the society today.
Yeah.
You have talked of, for example, it is still a progressive thing, to be very honest, and we are not yet there. Right. It is not all men who think like we can share our problems, I can be corrected and take it very positively, and all those manner of things. Yeah. And that is why
do men resist correction, especially in public?
Because there's the social belief that you must be right.
Yeah.
Case example, for example, if you break up with your girlfriend or something of that sort,
or divorce with your wife,
it is easier for your wife to go to her friends and lay it out on them, and they give her advice and all those manner of things. But the nature of men, we are not even interested in details. For me to even be able to help you to some extent, I need to know, why did you break up? Why did you? Oh, but for men, Isa, like, sorry, yeah. You get? Yeah. So we are not even interested in what transpired, what did this and that. But for the females, they will really want to know, to get to the core of the problem and try to enable these people for you to heal, or for you to resolve the issue in the first place. So generally, for men, it has been difficult over time. And that is why even in the example you were giving on popular figures, it is, figuratively, if you try to do an analysis, you'd realize the people who gear off most are men, in terms of drug abuse, in terms of this.
Alcoholism.
Because
even sex.
Even sex, Because the vulnerability for women, a problem shared is a problem half solved. And therefore, if you die in with your problems, then the probability of you coming out of it is extremely low. But for somebody who actually shared a problem, he was recommended a therapist, he was given advice, he was done this and that, and therefore the probability of a female who has experienced a problem to gear back to normalcy is higher than the probability of a man.
Good point. And I'll come back to you, Collins, but still on you, Godric. I want us to bring in the aspect of upbringing, your formative years as a man. For example, if you come from a homestead where there's a lot of violence, to say, explosiveness from the dad. The dad was always that kind of dad who is loud, abusive. They drink and they throw stones, and you're the one to be blamed, maybe as a child, or maybe the mother is to be blamed, or maybe the whole entire family is to be blamed. And these things used to happen way back. You would hear stories, people say, when our grandpa was drunk, you'd hear him hollering a kilometer away, and chickens would scatter, everybody would go under the bed, and
things to know you're here.
Things will take shape really fast, and that is some form of abuse either way, So you come from such a homestead. Here you are as an adult, replicating the same patterns, the same demonstration, and I'd say representation of what a father figure looks like is the person who goes outside to drink, they come back hollering and shouting, and everybody has to be blamed for an exist. The problem is not there, but the problem will be there whenever he arrives here. So how do you hold such a man accountable in a sense that, you know, you try to deshelve him from, you know, what he learned as a child? Because I believe your childhood determines your adulthood. You're a demonstration of what you were fed when you were younger. Yeah.
Okay. The question of upbringing is a very fundamental question, and it shapes us more or less. The faiths, the beliefs that you had initially from the onset are the beliefs that you will still hold even in a progressive society. Even if we change as a society as a whole, there are still those things that you will still hold on to, or there are some beliefs that you will still hold on to. Now, but the characterization of the modern generation and the society as a whole, the society as it is progressive in nature to some extent, and there are socially unacceptable things, as it were. And therefore, in as much as these things used to happen and somebody may hold this belief, then there is the societal pressure which comes into play as a checks and balance measure. Basically, it is no longer a normalcy. Even if you came up in a household where the father used to beat the wife and all those manner of things, then there is a checks and balance mechanism in the society as it is at the moment. Even if you look at the cases that are there in court and all those things, then it is, the likelihood is reducing. Yes, it has an impact on you mentally and your constructive beliefs and all those things, but at the end of the day, there is the societal check and balance, because we all strive to cope up with the societal expectations at the end of the day. And the societal expectation at the moment, especially in the time and in the age where we are living, where women are generally empowered and children's rights are actually extremely advocated for, then the probability of you practicing your beliefs, then we need to campaign to derail these beliefs, yes. But I believe at the moment the society as it is actively reducing the instances of marital abuse and child abuse by parents, etc. Though we are not yet there, we need to run campaigns to reduce these things, and we try to do as much as we can to reduce those narratives and those beliefs, because what you believe is what you believe generally.
But it starts from childhood, the things you are taught. Because they even say your father and your mother is like your first god. Before you know of any god, you learned of your dad, and your dad is your warrior, right?
Definitely.
Your mom is your queen, mama bear, So you pick their frequencies and you replicate them. So probably if you got the wrong thing, you also grow up in that miasma of, toxicity. Let me divert the same to you. Imagine now you grow up in a very explosive home.
Yes.
What he has just said. The examples you've seen your dad do, the things he's been doing, or even your grandpa, for those that never had, a present father, I believe there's always a grandma, an auntie, an uncle, trying to be a model of, a father figure, a mother figure. You picked that up as a man, and same thing you're trying to replicate. There's a possibility of you replicating, the patterns of your generation. Anyways, we talk of generational curses. It's a thing now.
Yeah, sure.
So how do you outdo or grow out of this and just, I'd say, create a charter path for yourself that's totally different from what you learned, what your dad modeled for you, your grandmother, your uncle, and everything?
Yeah. So to me, I will start by saying that human beings are generally lazy, and they need some kind of punishment to make them reach where they do what I think is right for them to do. So if you see the way these people in the 80s, 90s were brought up, they were brought up in a good way. To me, personally, I think they were brought up in a good way, because even in the 80s, before the government abolished the corporal punishment,
Yeah.
things were working well. But if you see nowadays, things are not working well with the upbringing that we are seeing. Yeah, watu wanadekezwa sana. So
Yeah.
as a man, you need that harshness. Yeah, you need that harshness for you to grow up and become a responsible man.
Okay.
Yeah, you need that.
Okay. Let's move to some of the mistakes that men make. Yeah, regrettable. I'd say could be regrettable and unavoidable. Unavoidable, regrettable, common mistakes that men make. And only if you had somebody watching over you, only if you had another brother who had gone through, you know, the path that you're on to. Like, for example, he's very soon to be an advocate of the High Court.
Yes, yes.
God bless your path. You very soon, you're incumbent MCA, yeah?
Yeah,
If only you had somebody who has gone through that path to hold your hand.
Yes.
I believe things will be very swift and seamless here. So let's talk about the mistakes, the regrettable and unavoidable mistakes that most men make in their life path.
Yeah, so one of the mistakes that men make is issues to do with money. Issues to do with money, finances.
Okay.
And if I talk about finances, it's being said outside here that you cannot advise a man with money. Yeah.
So why is that so, though?
Because money comes with what do we call it? Kiburi.
Yeah.
So when you see, you think you have money, you can do anything because money can get you anything. So you think you are uncontrollable.
Yeah.
So you can end up getting into a mistake that you don't know.
Yeah.
You will only realize that I am in a deep shit after things have gone wayward.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the mistakes that some men pass through.
So that's on finances. What about on relationships?
Relationship and marriages. Yeah, also I was to come to that. Men also get problems with the kind of wife you marry. Yeah, that is why there are many court cases of marriages, of divorce. There are very many cases, not even in Kenya alone, but worldwide. This is something that is affecting men worldwide. Yeah, so it is good as a man to stand up and see the kind of a wife that you want to be with. But this thing, you have to add God in it, because you as a man alone, you cannot make it alone.
Cannot win it alone.
Yeah, so God can help you. You ask God to help you.
But most men don't even go to church. They don't go to church. They prefer to meet at a joint pale, wakunywe moja mbili tatu, one for the road, one for the shoris, one for the money, you know. They don't go to church. So how do they even, you know, win this battle?
So winning this battle is very hard unless God had you from the beginning, because God said, before you were born, I already knew you. So it is very hard to win that battle, unless God is with you. Yeah, sure.
A man has money. Umesema akona kiburi already.
Yes.
And they are veering off the grid of life. They're making this mistake. They're sinking into the worst of the worst.
Yes.
Who advises this man who has money? Who calls them out and tells them, "Hey, Sankwa, hiyo nini yenye unafanya na hao madem ama huko kwenye unaenda, trust me, hautatoka kwa urahisi." Who does this man listen to when he has the money, he has the power, and they're young and fresh and energetic?
Yeah.
You know?
So actually, your friends, if you have money, most of your friends will not tell you, my friend, you are going in a bad direction, because they are benefiting from you in either way. The only person that can advise you, if you have your mother, you have your parents. Your parents are very good people in solving problems like that. Yeah, they will see it and they will advise you. And some may choose to.
What if they're not there?
If they are not there.
Sijui kama unaona boys amefanya forex and then amaomoka.
Yes.
Sasa ni kuspin tu kula social media, round 1, round 2, pale nini.
Sure. The society at large.
Ama society will shape you. Asiyesikia la mkuvu njikaguna, pia siyafunzwa na mamawe, funzwa na ulimwengu.
So if you make a bad decision, it will hit you. After hitting you, you will come up very strong. Actually, most men learn from their mistakes. So after learning from the mistake, you will never repeat the same mistake. You will come out very, very active.
Yeah. True. Interesting.
Sure.
Like that. Let me get back to you, Godric. When a man is in a sinkhole, sometimes that you are in trouble. But wewe unaendelea tu kukaa hapo juu, unataka kufa kimwanaume. Who should come to save you? Or who should save you? Who saves a man who is on a downward spiral, going to hell in the abyss? You know very well your life is about, the way we say quenished. You are about to be quenished, bro. Who saves you? Who calls you out?
Okay, number one, let me just pick it up from him. A man who has money, for example, for starters, and the society today has been capitalistic to some extent, and it is driven by your financial ability. Basically, even on the side of parents, and this is where they really need to weigh in, the elderly, the experience, and all those things. You'll realize in the society today, even your parents' advice, or to some extent, the elderly's advice, may not necessarily come through, even if you're doing the wrong thing, if you have money. So this is something that really needs to change, because in as much as we are arguing on the fact that the world can shape you, I am of the belief that you should not do mistakes that have already been done. Basically, you can learn from what somebody else did, and you say, okay, you know what, this path is...
But who is that someone that you should learn from? Now that men... In fact, there's somebody who is saying men who are successful don't even want to hear from unsuccessful men. And in fact, we even say mentors should not... You don't approach the mentor. The mentor approaches you. So we've made it even difficult for people to receive help,
It's difficult generally. How do you advise a man who has money? I had the member of parliament of Langata saying that. How do you advise a man who has money?
That's jealous.
Jealous. But generally, mentorship is a two-way traffic, and it is something which is scalable to some extent. I do agree with the fact that you cannot generally, on a general scale, yes, you can get advice from somebody who is below you, but on a general thinking perspective, the likelihood of you getting advice from somebody who is below you, you're actually the person who needs to be giving this person advice. But the identification of mentors is very important. I usually say there's always somebody better than you. There's always somebody who has been in the position that you are at that moment. You might have money, yes, but there's somebody who has had money before you. So it is prudent and important for us to identify some of the mentors who are ahead of us, who are better than us, and all those manner of things. But now to come into your question on when you are on your lowest, who now comes through to help you as a man, or to enable you to get out of this shithole that you're in as a man. We have already characterized a man as somebody who is very self-sustaining and very conservative to some extent.
And self-dependent.
Self-dependent, So the probability of a man wanting to get assistance is very low. It's very low. You might have even bet all your money and it has gone away, but you are still there you are remaining with 500 shillings and you're saying, I can still make it out. So it is important for men to also have social circles, or within men themselves. And my brother, you know what? I'm in trouble. The likelihood of a man asking for assistance, especially financial, from a lady is generally low on a general perspective. But if we have social circles within men, for example, even most of the time you'll realize even men may not necessarily want to know what the problem is. They may necessarily just assist you on the basis of your request of assistance. We are not so detail-oriented to the extent that we really want to know how did you get here, how did you do this and this, all these manner of things. So the society balances itself in the sense that the fact that we are not, we are conservative beings, then even the men in themselves are not necessarily detail oriented, in the sense that they may want to get into your business so much and want to really know how,
like what transpired,
how did
you've
you
been
get
sleeping,
here,
you know.
what did you do.
I'm imagining an example of, there's this common one, when a man has an STD, I think we've talked about it here before, they rarely go for checkup or to receive medication in the first early stages until something is burning off or falling off or it can't function. Utasikia, hapa nisipoenda kutaanguka, you know. Like you can imagine such stuff. Like if you opened up really early to a friend, umwambie, bro, kuna chomeka mbaya. You'd receive the help,
assistance.
You know? But you unakuwa tu silent, unapigana na hiyo monster. Karibu tu inakuwa, boom, ndo unainua mkono unasema, wase mi dunia imeisha, you know? Can imagine.
Yeah, so you get, okay, at the moment as things stand, or as things have been standing, it has balanced itself to some extent, in the sense that I may not necessarily want to know what transpired, etc. I'll just give you the assistance you need and I mind my own business. But this is still dangerous, because you know, you are really suffering, and the details of your suffering may actually enable me to assist you. Because, for example, if you are a gambling addict, for example, and you have gotten to the bottom line and you are now not in a position to do anything else, and you tell me, I need this amount of money, I give it to you, then you'll still go and gamble it again, and you're still in the same problem, you get? But the details of your problem, if I were to have them, then I would be able to assist you, in the sense that, okay, you know what, now don't do this, this is what you do, and this, etc., etc., etc. So I'm a very positivist person, and I believe we are moving towards the realization of actually men being vulnerable to some extent, and being very open. As the societal shift is gradually coming in, female empowerment is coming through, all this manner of things are coming through. But it is gradual, as I've constantly put it, and the vulnerability is coming through, but at a very slow rate. So we need to try and encourage it. We need to try and encourage men to actually be able to share, especially among men themselves, because it is ideally easier than sharing with the other gender. You get? It is easier for men to relate. They have a language that they speak within themselves, that they understand themselves. You get? So generally, it is a balance to some extent.
Still on you, Godric, and I'd love to hear as well your reaction on the Sam Collins. What are some of those things that, as a man, if you ever indulged in or went through or did, you'd be considered, bro, your life is cooked. You are cooked. Wewe, kukusaidia, itahitaji maombi kadhaa. First of all, wewe mwenyewe kwanza ujiombewe, and then tukuombe, and then sasa a special meeting, committee should be had to try and resuscitate your life, because, bruh, you are screwed up for life. What are some of those things that, as a man, once you go through them, kusaidia inakuwa ngumu? Hata watu wanakusaidia from a distance. Sijui kama ushaisikia hiyo. Tunakusaidia, but tunakusaidia kama tumesimama hapo juu.
Like you're literally done for. I may not really have quite a number of examples that I may want to float, but generally, addiction is a very big problem. Addiction is an extremely big problem. You know, there are people who drink, but there are people who are drunkards. Yesterday I was arguing with someone the difference between a crime and a violent crime. Basically, there are some things that even your peers do, but there is also a rock bottom to those things. Like, so there are extents that you get to in addictions. There are very many types of addictions. You talk drug abuse, you talk gambling, you talk sexual, there's also sexual addiction. So there are some extents that if you get to them, then you are done for, or you are unfortunate to some extent. So even people are addicted to money. So if you
I thought that's a good addiction, though.
it's a good addiction to some extent, and to some extent it is not. Your addiction to money in a positive way, in the sense that it pushes you to work and do all this manner of things, then that is a good addiction. But if you are addicted to money to the extent that you can do literally anything for the sake of money, then you're cooked, basically. Because you'll never be contented. Nobody will ever be contented with the money that they get or the money that they earn. But the question is on how far are you willing to go, or how far are you willing to do some of these things. And therefore, if you get yourself moving to extreme extents, for you to foot a bill, or for you to impress somebody, or for you to be socially acceptable, then it's a line not worth crossing.
Collins, what do you think some of those things kama mwanaume kusikia msaki kupea story yake anamwambia hey bro manze wewe kusaidika inahitaji mambo mingi sana.
So I will say two things. One, if you are a man and you are involving yourself in these dangerous activities like my friend has just said, drug addiction, thuggery, all these kinds of odd things, for you to get money, or it's your hobby to do that. Actually, if you are caught, no one will want to hear your case. No one will want to hear your case. And the next thing, as a man, if you are doing something and you have been warned by the society, you have been warned by your friends, and then one day this thing come and catch up with you, there's no one who will come to your aid. I have an example from my friend. My friend went for trials in Burundi. After going for the trials in Burundi, when he was going, he never informed anyone that he is going for the trials. Now when things got bad there, now he wanted to outsource some money to facilitate the traveling back to the country. Now people were not happy with that, because they were asking and saying, when you are going there, you didn't tell us that you are going. Now you are in a problem, why are you coming to ask us for money? So things like that. So that's why I started by saying, men, you need to talk. Men need to talk. Whether you are an introvert or an extrovert, you need to talk. Because our world is very harsh with men. It's very harsh with men.
Kuna ingine ya mademu inasema the world is very harsh kwa mwanaume ana pesa.
That's also true. Men also pass through a lot of problems when they don't have money. It's not about love, it's about life.
Kama hauna pesa.
You cannot even talk to a family in a family meeting if you don't have money. So people need to talk. I will give the last example about the previous one. I had a friend also. So when I came to Nairobi, I came to university. So I always go back home and actually socialize with my friends. So I have one of my friends who was having a problem. And when I met this my friend, it was the 4th day. I will not mention the name. I know he's watching. So I will not reveal the identity. So he was having an STI, and he never told anyone. And she was having a girlfriend too. You see, if you have this thing, you need to take your partner too for the medication. So he never told me, but I realized. So I realized when he was coming out of the toilet and saying, hey, I'm not good. I'm asking, what's the problem? I'm seeing something itchy. And it was his first time. That thing has never happened to him. So I had to take him to the hospital. And that's when the test was done, and it was past 4 days. Past 4 days. STI.
STI.
So he was treated, and he was given medication, and after some 2 days, he was well. So he never talked to anyone. So men, you just need to talk.
Right. And speaking of that, maybe now that you've given that interesting example as well, maybe what is the importance of community for men, like having some sort of like a safety net or a fallback group of people that you can always, bounce back onto whenever things are falling apart. Ama wakati kumedhoka, so to say. Kuna wale watu unawarudia, I remember time ya COVID, kuna wase wengi, and I've interviewed a lot of people here who talked about their stories of COVID. Wakati sijui biashara yake ilikuwa ina bloom nini, akafunga, akarudi home, mwingine akarudi kwa mabeshte nini. Maybe what is the importance of, as a man, having a community of people? Sometimes family, I believe, is not always blood, Could be that, social group that you've created for yourself can be family too, And I understand family can be toxic too, so to say, But what is the importance of community for men?
Most families actually, most people, if you ask them, those people who lives in town, they will say, I'll rather go to stay with my friend than to look for my sister or my auntie somewhere to go and stay with. Because most families are not accommodating. So...
but it's your family, it's your blood.
It's your blood,
yes.
It's your blood, but...
Watu wa kwetu,
Only mothers, even fathers do reject, but only mothers at some extent can actually hear your problems. So community plays a very important role because you cannot live alone in this world. You have to have people. Community can give you shelter, can give you food, even at your lowest moment. So community is very important. And what's a community? Community is a person that is living next to you, that your pastor, that your friend, that your partner that you're playing with football there, that's the community. So you need to actually, as a man, create
establish
friendship with the community,
relationships,
networks,
meaningful,
meaningful,
a meaningful one,
and relationships,
Sure, that will help you a lot.
Absolutely. Let me throw it back to you, Godric. Maybe in your own thoughts and your opinion, what is the cost or the price of being a man? What is the price that you have to pay? Because kuna pia, this is a real man, or hey, huyu ni mwanaume, I don't know if you've heard those things. Hey, I said loot him, he's a real man. You've heard these things, they're outside there,
Definitely.
So what is the cost or the price of being a man in this life?
It is generally acceptable to say that being a man is hard, generally acceptable. But there are some fundamental things that even if equality is achieved, there are some things which cannot be taken away from the plate of the man. And as a responsibility of a man, you look at it from any perspective you want to look at it from. If you are religious, if you are historic, any perspective you want to look at it from, then a man must be a provider, then a man must protect, a man it gives a sense of security and all those manner of things. In a capitalistic world, then ideally it seems like having money or actually being a financially capable person, that constitutes being a real man, which I think it's a narrative which is not necessarily true, because a man foundationally and most importantly, a man is somebody who needs to have vision and plans, because money comes and goes anyway. In as much as we glorify money and all those manner of things, then money is something which is not necessarily permanent. Money flows, and it can be on your door today and it cannot be on your door tomorrow. So a man, for me, primarily is a protector, a person who has vision, and a provider. I'm not saying that money comes and goes in the sense that now you do not provide, because at the end of the day, the duty of provision still lies on the floor of the man very squarely. But a man who generally has vision may not have much today, but is in a constant position to provide. A man who has vision and anajituma to some extent, then he is always in a position to find ways of ensuring his duty of provision and protection is actually catered for adequately, including mentorship and all those manner of things. Leadership are still aspects that incline to a man to some extent. If you look at, I listen to a lot of podcasts, if you listen to even the female leaders that we have at the moment,
Yeah.
then you'd realize all of these people are consenting to the fact that at the end of the day, when they get home, it is the husband who actually is the leader of this family.
Yeah.
However much they may be popular outside here, they may be leaders of MPs and all this manner of things, when they get to their homes, then primarily the conditions or the duties of leadership of this family is squarely on this man's foot. And therefore, leadership is not something which is very easy. And therefore, it requires a lot of sacrifice, it requires a lot of consideration, it requires a lot from this person. And if you combine all these things, then you'll come to realize being a man is not very easy, and therefore it takes a lot from this person to actually be able to provide those things.
To actually even be, I think, in the leader without a title, the leader who had no title by Robin Sharma, there's a chapter where it says, leadership starts with you leading your own life first.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it even talks about sexual discipline, you know, all those things that they say, you know, this is the frame of a man. So if you get out of this frame, you're not a man anymore. You know, there are so many filters and constraints for men. Sindio?
Yeah, definitely.
There's so many. So, I'll give you a parting shot, guys. Maybe for a Gen Z who's been watching this conversation and they're going through a place where yani hai make sense. Sijui kama ushasikia mtu akisema hai make sense kabisa.
Life is not life anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Hebu mwambie your parting shot as you say social media in 30 seconds each. Godric, go first since you're still on you.
Okay, so my parting shot to that person who is a gentleman, who is a man who is generally young and upcoming and all those manner of things. Now, the social expectation upon you is very high, and leadership, as we've clearly established here, is that leadership becomes from you, self-actualization begins from you, and change actually begins from you. For us to hold each other accountable, then we actually need to have that sense of correction, that we are also accepting correction and we are also willing to correct our peers. We need to be able to try and help one another in this community. We have also established the fact that there is a lot of burden that is there for men, and therefore there is a need for men to be able to hold each other, correct each other, guide each other. If you're better than me, or if you are advanced or experienced than me, then there is a moral duty for you to also guide others. That is Musita, A.G. Godric. You can find me on Instagram, AG_Musita, and we can keep sharing.
Yes, Collins?
Thank you. As long as you have attained the age of 18 years and above, you are a man. And therefore, you are entitled to be a responsible person in life. You need to be focused. You need to open up and talk. Men go through a lot of problems, and that is the reality. So if you don't talk, no one will speak for you. Unlike women who have women representatives, we don't have men representatives. So we need to talk. We need to talk to each other, encourage each other, and everything will be fine. We need the world to be a better place for us. Yeah. My social media accounts, all my social media accounts, you will find me by the name Collins Abungu. Thank you.
All right. Thank you both, gentlemen. Collins Abungu alongside Godric Musita for sharing your invaluable insight in this conversation, and great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now, still on that note, we'd love to shout out to our producer as well as our director, that is Georges. He's actually been awarded a Personality of the Year award by courtesy of Wezesha Youth Initiative Awards. We'd like to say congratulations. He's the guy speaking in my ear and directing this show right now behind the scenes. Shout out to you, Georges, and congratulations once again. And also, we want to thank you as well for watching us from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll absolutely see you tomorrow bright and early. I and my co-host or my co-star, Stephanie Ayeta, at Brian Sako 101, at Y254 channel, at Stephanie Ayeta. See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching.